Welcome back to Queen the Greatest Live. This week we take a look at one of the most visually exciting aspects of any Queen show and discover the importance of lighting. From the very outset, Queen didn't just want to sound amazing, but insisted the look of their shows was every bit as spectacular. For that to happen, the impact of the lighting could not be underestimated.
For that 2.5 hours that we're on stage, we are in complete control of the environment. That means the sound, the lights, the temperature, everything. How much smoke there is in the air, all that sort of stuff. So the lights are a big part of it, as are the actual physical pieces of the stage production. And the lights are part of that. So we've always thought that lights are not just objects to illuminate, they're objects in themselves and they're part of the environment. And that's a kind of rock and roll thing. I think we imbibed that from seeing stuff that we enjoyed when we were kids.
Oh yeah, I mean a visual spectacular, like for instance Pink Floyd were wonderful visual spectacular and they don't even move. So it's so important, the visual side. And we were always very involved. We had a big thing in our heads, in Freddie, Brian and myself especially. There were so many acts going around, they'd had hundreds of lights, all different colours, and it just made white. So we had this idea of just having red, green and white, and it was very effective. I think, you know, if you want red light, you want all the lights to be red, or you want white light. If you can make them all white, it's really incredible. But as soon as you start mixing them, you get grey, you know, just things like that. We had very strong ideas about lighting.
Very quickly, Queen established themselves as masters of lighting, which led to some incredibly innovative and iconic lighting rigs.
We used to do lots of things. I think we had the first moving light show, and that was our crown. That's what we called it, a crown. It was a big circular lighting rig with all the lights, right, and it used to rise, and nobody had ever done that before.
I suppose the one that comes to mind is the pizza oven, because we were just getting more and more and more lights, but in those days they were hot, they were incandescent, all of them. They were all tungsten, and we actually filled the whole of the top of the stage with lights. It was solid lights and it moved like this, and when it came down it was pretty much like a pizza oven, and Roger used to get fried. I know there was smoke coming off his stool when he went off for the encore. I don't know quite how we survived that. These days lights are different. They're LEDs, they don't give you heat, they just give you light. You can still get that effect, and we actually still use some tungsten on stages to get certain effects, because there's nothing quite like it. It is hot, steamy and real. But the pizza oven was a great stage to work on.
And sometimes the most effective light is one single powerful spotlight on the performer, you know, to focus the entire arena, whatever it is, theatre, on that performer. Easy. All you have to do is fall in love, play the game. Ever since the days of Variety, you know, I think they've known that since they had the carbon arc lights, you know, that the London Palladium, and then had the big spotlight at the back, you know. The dancing bit razor blades, we used to call them bit razors. There was a sort of bank of lights suspended, used to move all, and they had a spotlight operator under them, and there were 7 of those that used to sort of dance all over the stage, and that was really groundbreaking at the time, and much copied since.
We also had a different setup where we had lights in pods, and in each pod there was a man running it and operating it, so you could actually interact with these pods, and there's some footage of me doing the guitar solo and playing to the pod and sort of moving it. It would sort of interact with me and talk to me while I'm playing the solo. was a lot of fun. Michael Jackson saw that and said, I want that. And he did.